Welcome to issue 298 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, aka Scarlet Word, and here tonight also have Steve.
Hi, Chris. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm feeling good. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Your reading was so enthralling. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good. Yes. I hope I'm quite enchanting this evening.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah. And then we also have Daniel, of course.
Well, hello. I'm fully seduced. So thank you.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Quickest
that
thing
easy.
I've ever made in my life.
Just that easy. Welcome back to the lair, Chris. Good to have you.
Thank you. Thanks.
You were here last week too in spirit.
Yes. Oops.
Thank you for my write-up.
Yes. Anytime. Yeah. So
Any
always love to
script.
talk.
I'll read any script. Keep them coming.
That's true. You
learned that the hard way, Daniel.
Yeah, right?
You'll learn. You will read anything.
Anything.
At all.
Doesn't matter. Put it in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Daniel,
Yeah.
what's on your mind tonight?
Oh, well, thanks for asking, Chris. I'll tell you what's on my mind. Gratitude in the form of a Patreon thank you to John Redmond. Steve, why do I feel like I know that name? Do we know did we meet John Redmond?
We know a Stephen Redmond.
Okay, yeah. I played baseball in high school with Dave Redmond, so maybe it's just the Redmond is.
Yeah, and maybe we know John and we don't know we know John. Sorry, John. John knows us because he listens to the show, so hopefully his expectations are low for us. So
yeah.
Hope
to meet you, and if we have met, it was a delight. So, okay, well, he needs a job, right?
Yeah, he definitely needs a job.
He comes to the office, comes to the lair, needs a job. This job was cobbled together by the elite minions. Is that true, Steve?
Yeah, they said they needed some help with this, so they put this job together. So
okay,
it's all their fault.
So, John, I guess you're
not all of our fault. Just saying,
right.
Not all of us.
Oh, not all. Not you, Chris. The other ones.
No.
Okay.
I know nothing about this.
So, John, when you come on day one, you'll take the outside elevator to, I think, the 34th floor in the basement.
Sub-level.
Sub-level. And they will need you to be the synthetic systems acquisition specialist. Now, the cyborg development team requires its non-mechanical parts and materials for development testing, and it's your job, John, to scrounge them up. So please avoid old or decaying product, as it tends to spoil before it can be properly installed. Thinking corpse thief or back alley organ harvester. So that's what we got you on the docket for, John. I think you'll report probably to Josh. Sounds like something he would.
Yeah, it feels like
yeah.
So when you, just
wear some old clothes.
Follow your nose. You'll find Josh, and he'll tell you all about this.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for being a loyal patron. Thank you to all our patrons. Your generosity really does help. We greatly appreciate it. So
Steve would never have gotten to MCDC without it.
No, you know what? Would not have gotten to MCDC. I would have gotten there, but not all the cool alt arts we brought with us.
Yeah, that's true. I just like to make embezzlement jokes.
Yeah, thanks. But we did use the money from the patrons to produce those Loki Standard 3 sets. And we do have extra, and we are going to be doing some giveaways. We're going to be giving some out to patrons. We're going to be giving some out to listeners. So everyone should be able to thank the patrons for that because of their generosity, we were able to buy and make so many of these cards and give some away to people who weren't at the con. So stay tuned for that.
Cool.
It is coming.
Cool.
So
nice.
We're not just here for that, right? I mean, Chris is here, so usually that means he's on to talk some lore.
And probably correct lore.
No, not today.
Oh, nice.
No, he's not correcting lore, but he's going to give us the correct lore.
The correct lore. Yeah. Not correcting lore.
You know what happened, Daniel, is one time he corrected you, right? And he was correct that one time. And ever since then, we've treated him as an expert with no checking in to see if he's actually correct since that point.
You know what? That's a great point, Steve.
Right. We don't.
He could be writing up things like Mike does.
Yep. No idea if it's actually accurate anymore or not. So.
And you'll never know.
Well done. Truly villainous, Chris. Truly villainous.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, but yeah, we're here to talk about lovely Amora, the Enchantress, right?
All right. Cool.
Yes. And this might be the easiest lore I've ever had to do on the show, because thankfully there's 2 episodes where you've already talked about Enchantress.
Two.
Episode 2, issues 136 and 136.5, with the very knowledgeable Rowan. I have to say, like, I re-listened. Great. They were very informative and nothing to correct about Enchantress. And so today I'm just going to talk about more about the scenario and what I think may have inspired our Enchantress scenario
Cool.
versus the modular sets. So the story that I think this comes from is 2 issues from the Kelly Thompson run of Captain Marvel that ran from 2019 to 2023. Highly recommend this series. It's fantastic. Kelly Thompson is a fantastic comic book author, and these 2 issues are a tie-in for a very large event called the War of the Realms. So first, let's talk about the War of the Realms. This was the capstone event to an absolute epic that Jason Aaron wrote for Thor. It's sometimes considered one of the best Thor runs. This era of Thor was from 2012 to 2019, so it's quite large. It is multiple volumes. I think 5 or 6. I own them all. They're around 700 pages each. It's a lot of comics.
Wow.
Yeah, they're big. And so it spans a bunch of different comic book series, but it's one overarching sort of story, if you. But the quick and dirty of this storyline is that Malekith, who MCU viewers may recognize as the dude from Thor: The Dark World, the villain, played by Christopher Eccleston.
He's like a dark elf or something, right?
He's exactly that. He is a
Okay.
dark elf.
Okay.
So there is also light elves in Marvel's version of Asgard. But yeah, so he amasses a lot of power. And timing wise, this is kind of like when he came back in the MCU. That's when they decided to push him in the comics. So he amasses a lot of power and allies himself with Thor's rogues gallery. Creates this whole thing he calls the Dark Council. And um, there's a lot of behind the scenes sort of taking over, conquering different realms. In the comics, there are 10 realms, not the 9 realms that are more accustomed in both the MCU and I believe in Norse mythology itself. So he does that. He takes control of most of them through either allying himself with those other villains or conquest. And the last realm that was neither allied or conquered was Earth or Midgard. And so that's what the event covered. So he takes his armies of giants, trolls, dark elves, fire demons, and the undead to invade Earth. They start in New York City, of course, because this is
Of
Marvel.
course. Of course. Of course
Everything
I do.
starts, of course.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. And so they sort of overwhelm Earth's superheroes. And part of the agreements he had with all of his allies was that they would basically divvy up the planet. So each of these Dark Council members would each get their own continents, right? And so the important one today that we're talking about is Enchantress. And so she got South America. That was the part of the world that she was going to be conquering and taking over. And this story sort of then went into one of the tie-in books, which was the ongoing Captain Marvel. And in that book, in issues 6 and 7, which both came out in 2019, we start with actually Black Widow and Winter Soldier fighting against Enchantress. And at the time, Enchantress is controlling sort of an army of the undead. She'd sort of low key conquered Niflheim, which is hell, overthrowing Hela, that sort of thing. Black Widow finally gets her shot to just stab. She's got a big stick thing to go stab Enchantress, but instead Enchantress of course blasts her, and something weird happens, and they both see a vision of the future. And this vision through Enchantress's eyes are her getting defeated by a team of Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, and Black Widow in Rio de Janeiro. And that's sort of all we know. And so Black Widow, of course, leads her to go and recruit Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel. First, she goes to Captain Marvel, obviously, it's her book, and then Doctor Strange. And the three of them together finally like talk about how they're going to go do this, but Enchantress actually surprises them because she also saw that vision and knew to like she needs to do something to like stop that from happening.
Void the three of them at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So she ambushes them and does this really genius move and body swaps Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel. And so, and it's really funny because Black Widow and I think all of them at some point go, this was the most genius move she could have done. Essentially, one, it may be the plot to Freaky Friday, and that's what it is. And two, Strange can't use his magic anymore because he's in Carol's body and he also doesn't really understand how to use Carol's, glittery, shiny fists and blasts. While Carol, who is pretty much not a magic user at all, doesn't really understand how to use the magic that's like flowing in Doctor Strange's body. And so this leads to a lot of just sort of bickering amongst the heroes as they do. Uh, and being stubborn, especially both Stephen Strange and Carol Danvers are two of the most probably stubborn and jerkish heroes sometimes when they want to be. This is probably tough, and they do eventually learn to like kinda sorta use each other's power. Not to like really great abilities, but kinda sort of. And so they end up in that second issue sort of making their way to Rio de Janeiro. And they're kind of like not great at beating Enchantress for a while because she kind of, can clean up. The two of them are just awkward. They don't know what they're doing. And then you've got poor Black Widow just like shooting zombies essentially with a gun. And so not really doing a whole much.
Her power is kicking.
Her
Yeah.
powers. Yeah. And so what happens is Carol finally gets this epiphany that Enchantress is controlling with her magic all of her this undead, right? And so they're following her because of that. And so Carol just creates a spell of a mutiny spell, which makes all the undead minions sort of turn on Enchantress. And in doing so, really takes away all of Enchantress's sort of concentration because the spell to keep two sort of, I guess, souls or beings in the wrong body takes a lot. And so after she's being kind of beaten up, I don't think she can really die from the undead. She loses her concentration and the two of them swap back. And then we get to the fated point where the three of them are now standing over Enchantress, who had just gotten beat up by her own soldiers, and they take her into custody. And that's sort
Uh,
of like the gist of those two issues. And much like obviously the heroes do end up clearing out all the Asgardian baddies in the War of the Realms. And yeah, so that's a little story. And I realized that I did not go over her powers for those of you who have not listened to the other issue, but they're basically just magic. She can control people. That's her shtick.
he has enchanting powers.
Yes, some would say
Yes.
very enchanting.
Enchanting, yeah.
But yeah, I think
She's
that sort
she's
of
really into
oh,
body
go ahead.
swapping, right? Because like she was involved with right, isn't she involved with like Valkyrie and Annabelle Riggs
Oh
swapping
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
also Valkyrie and that Barbara somebody else. Like I think she
yeah.
messes with Valkyries twice and then she does this. So she's really into that, it seems like. So
Yeah, I think she's just always like kind of a trickster, if you will, who takes over. And so she just does a lot of those sort of things. She's very magic based, very sort of I think she doesn't have like the physical prowess, so she uses a lot of these like tricks to confuse her enemies or try to seduce them, all those type of things, so that she doesn't actually have to fight, but instead can win in other ways or get what she wants. Because really she just wants what she wants, which is more power, more control, people adoring her, that sort of thing. I mean, I get it. So,
yeah,
but
all right.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. I quite like Enchantress. She's a really fun villain, and as Rowan mentioned, she's been around since like 1964. So she's been a big piece of the comics. She's a huge, one thing I think the other issues didn't touch on as much is just she's a big Avengers villain too. She tangles with the Avengers quite a lot. She's a original member of the Masters of Evil from back in the '60s, the very first team, and so yeah, so she's been fighting Avengers, which is really nice because we have a lot of Avenger heroes for theme.
Nice.
But yeah, yeah. So that's my very probably shortest lore I've ever done story.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound like a fair, like pretty accurate to the scenario at least, right? She's trying to enchant the heroes to get what she wants, and we're gonna see there's a card in here called Future of Despair, right? So maybe she's seen the future. There's a bunch of stuff that seems like it is on theme for
Oh
that.
yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool.
Oh yeah. And there's gonna be some flavor text too. So yeah.
Well, should we just look at the cards then? I mean,
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
okay. All right. So we are going to look at the Enchantress scenario. Found it in the Trickster Takeover pack. I like that real subtle. You mentioned a Trickster Takeover real subtly a few minutes ago. So that was good.
I'm nothing but subtle, really.
Okay. So yeah, found in the Trickster Takeover scenario pack in Wave 9. 32 total cards, 26 by title. And tonight we'll look at the villain, the main scheme, and setup cards, which is like 11 setup cards. So let's get to it. Daniel, Chris got to talk a bunch. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Enchantress?
The Enchantress?
Well, just Enchantress.
Okay. I will tell you about her. She's of course, unique villain with in her level 1, 2 scheme, 1 attack with an asterisk. She is Asgard and Mystic traded. Force response when she attacks. After she attacks, place 1 charm counter on the enchantment card in your play area. She comes with 15 hit points per player.
Okay.
Her level 2 version is steady in toughness. Otherwise, same traits. 2 scheme to attack. When revealed in standard mode, put the set-aside Future of Despair into play. Then place an additional 3 threat per player on it. And that same force response when she attacks, that you place a charm counter on the enchantment card in your play area. Boy, Steve, I hope we go over what those are.
Oh, we will today. We will.
And finally, her 3rd level form is a 3 scheme to attack with steady toughness again. When revealed, you put aside the Future of Despair into play, then place an additional 4 threat per player on it with that same forced response. And she has 18 hit points, and her level 2, 16.
Okay. So her stats are pretty normal, right? 2-1, 2-2, 3-2.
And a
She's
really
a little more
nice green
schemy than
dress.
physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art's really cool.
Yeah.
So this is a little different on some of these setups. The level 2 and level 3 have I guess maybe not level 3 so much, but level 2 has this when revealed in standard mode, which is kind of neat because if you're playing on expert, you'd start at level 2, but you don't start with that side scheme out. But if you're playing on standard mode, when you flip her to it, she gets a little tougher, which is kind of neat. I like that there's a when revealed in standard mode.
That is a good touch.
I
It's different.
love this, and I'm surprised that it really took until like wave 9 to do something like this. Like, because I think it's like and I speak as someone who I do not play expert. I don't even sleeve the level 3s of
Oh,
the
wow.
villains. Like they go in my like just reprint box. And so like I actually forgot until today what her level 3 says. I've already played her a lot. And so, but I really love it, and I think it's obviously more for the expert players because I think there is that sort of like starting at basically the harder version for the standard players is kind of like a lot. And I like that you still get that same ramp that like you get in the standard experience, but now an expert. Does that make sense? Like that,
Yep.
I just think it's nice that they have started doing that.
Yeah.
And I hope that happens a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'll be cool. And it comes out with additional threat, right? So like
Yeah.
yeah. And they're set aside, so we'll have to look. There must be some schemes here that she's doing. Why don't I read some main schemes that'll keep us moving here? Her main scheme 1-8 prime real estate, which I assume is going to be South America, but we'll have to see what the flavor text says. Contents Enchantress 1 and 2, 2 and 3 for expert, Enchantress and standard encounter sets, and 1 modular set, Trickster Magic. which we talked about last week. So in the setup, set the Future of Despair side scheme aside. Attach a random hypnotic gaze to each identity. Players cannot look at the reverse sides. Set each remaining hypnotic gaze aside. Okay, and then it flips to 1B. Enchantress sets out to conquer South America by turning all who oppose her into enthralled lackeys. Oh, yeah, okay, there's the theme. Starts at 1 threat per player, goes up by 1 threat per player, and tops out at 6 threat per player. With the force to interrupt, when a charm counter would be placed on the enchantment card in your play area, if your identity has the enthralled trait, place 1 threat here instead. Okay. All right. And I'll read her second main scheme, and then Chris, you could do the other cards after that. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
So if this prime real estate advances, she goes on to 2A Sovereign Sorceress. When revealed, if the Crown of the Enchantress attachment is in play, stun each identity. Otherwise, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Crown of the Enchantress and reveal it. Shuffle. It flips to 2B, which has a starting threat of 2 per player, goes up by 1 per player, and maxes out at 9 per player. With the force to interrupt, when a charm counter would be placed on the enchantment card in your play area. If your identity has the enthrall trait, place 1 threat here instead. If the stage is completed, the players lose the game. Okay, so 2 schemes, some basic threat, and the main one of the big effects, right? Because we saw if she attacks you on any version 1, 2, or 3, she attacks you. You put a charm counter on the enchantment in your play area. Everybody's going to have an enchantment in their play area right from the beginning, and if you're enthralled, it becomes threat instead, which we'll have to talk about how that plays out. But let's look at a couple of the other cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do the Future of Despair first?
Yeah, let's do that.
Get that one out of the way. Okay. Yeah. So Future of Despair is a side scheme. Enchantress gains Stalwart and cannot take damage. When revealed, place 1 charm counter on each enchantment card in play. It has 2 threat per person. And it has 3 boost icons for when it gets. So yeah, so this will be coming out on your second version of her in standard or expert. Which is a good tempo hit because you can't attack her.
Yeah, it's really cool because, okay, a lot of times what you do is you wait and okay, we're playing standard and we take Enchantress down to 2. Okay, and then we wait for the first player's turn and they knock 2 hit points off of Enchantress. Now we flip to level 2 and then we do like 40 more damage to her, but you can't because the side scheme just came out and you have to deal with the side scheme first before you can do any damage to her. So it's kind of a nice little, like, I don't know. It's not like a ton of threat, but it is a neat little, like, shoot, we got to do this before we can just wail away. So
yeah, it's enough. And like, if you, depending on the order of players, like if your justice person's already done when she gets switched to the next one, like you might be kind of screwed.
right.
If your
Yeah.
order is like, well, my turn's done, can't do anything. And so, yeah. And, and obviously the stalwart's not great because like you may want to attempt to stun her to avoid the response on her attack.
Right. Yep.
And which would add more threat as you're moving along because I don't think her main schemes are very high thresholds.
No, 6 is not very high.
No,
9
and
is,
nine's not like
it's not
like
super crazy high.
fine, but like but it's not high.
Right.
So and it starts with 2 a lot, I think.
Yeah. The other thing with Future Despair is it gets revealed and you put a charm counter out, right? So we're going to see those charm counters push you into the second phase, or that's just going to turn into threat, which is can be difficult. And then this, while it started the game set aside, it doesn't go to the victory display or anything. It just gets shuffled back in after you clear it. So it could come up again. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, all right. So, should we talk about these enchantment things?
I think we should. So what we need to do is we want to talk about what they look like on the one side, because there's 5 of them.
5 of them. Yep.
They all have the same back, and you shuffle them up randomly, right? And you hand them out, so you don't know which one you get. You're not supposed to look. And I scolded someone at MCTC. I'm like, "What are you doing? You can't look." Like looking at me, I'm like, "Hey, I gotta advocate for this villain."
Yeah.
So
no cheating.
Yeah. Chris, give us the back of this card, and then we'll work our way through the rest of them.
Perfect. So the hypnotic gaze is an attachment. It has the enchantment trait, permanent. Your identity gains the defiant trait. If there are 5 or more charm counters here, remove each charm counter from here and flip this card. And I love that it has the like question mark out of 32
Yeah.
per
Right.
set.
Yeah.
And it's, card 7A through 11A. So you
Right,
really have no
if it
idea.
said 7 of 32, you'd be like, "Oh, that's the Trance of Envy," because I have that memorized. Because
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so everyone will get those, and I love that there's 5 of them, because in a 4-player game, um, there's still one that you don't know. Like, it's not like you know that, like, okay, well, one person's gonna get this trance, and one person's gonna get this one, and we can, like, kind of plan for having those 4
Mhm.
things out, but now you, like, really have no idea which ones you're gonna get because there's that mystery 5th one.
Yeah, or you could play a 5-player game, and everybody would have one.
That true, that sounds horrible.
I've never done that, nor do I want to.
Right.
I
I'm not
mean,
you could do it. I'm not saying
there
you want to,
there are
but you could.
things you can do, but should you?
Right. This is one of those can should distinctions. Yes.
Yeah, big ones, yeah.
100%.
All right, Daniel, hit us with one of these.
Well, let me tell you about the Trance of Envy, gentlemen. So when you flip that after your 5th charm counter, you now have the permanent enchantment with the Enthralled trait. And when revealed, discard a card you control. Otherwise, discard the top 8 of your deck. Then there's a forced action. And Steve, we should talk about what these mean.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we should.
Exhaust this card. Give Enchantress a face down boost card. Ready your identity. Oh, okay.
This is can I just say, for those of you who have seen the weekly challenges that are happening right now,
Mhm.
the I think first one was to play Enchantress, but with 5 counters immediately, as you start the game. This was the one I got in the first time I tried the challenge,
Ooh,
which is really fun because you don't have anything to discard, because you just started the game. There's nothing out.
right.
I was playing Hulkling, and who doesn't even have like a literally anything. And so yeah, so discarding the top 8 of your cards immediately is real fun. Real great way to start the game.
So maybe we should talk about the forced action
Yeah.
before continuing the rest of these,
Yeah, I think that's
Yes.
fair.
so people know
Yeah.
what this means.
Yeah, because it is a new mechanic that we're just seeing out of this. And if whenever you see something you don't know, you can go and look it up in the rule book. And it is in the Trickster Takeover book on page 7. It says forced actions. Some attachments have a forced action triggered ability. A player may perform a forced action at any time during the player phase they could normally perform an action, but the player phase cannot end until all possible forced actions among all players have been performed. If a card with the forced action ability is discarded or the cost cannot otherwise be paid, such as by the card becoming exhausted when the forced action ability's cost includes exhausting the card, then the action cannot be performed and the players are free to end the player phase as normal. So basically, you have to take this action before the player phase ends if you are able to.
But you can figure out when.
Yes.
So in a 3-player
Yes.
game,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be on my turn if I'm the first player.
Right.
I can wait for the whole end of all things or whatever. It depends on the card. Like this one, the one that I just read, you might want to do it on your turn, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Otherwise,
Well,
I mean,
maybe if you're not the
maybe
protector.
it depends what's
I mean,
going
if
on.
you are the
But like,
protector. Yeah.
but like, this was one of my favorite things at the con. Steve I played this scenario 2 or 3 times. I love these cards.
Yeah, in this case, figuring out when it's
Yeah.
best to ready your identity because at least you get to take another basic action or something else because you get to ready up.
Yeah.
It's neat because it's both good and bad for you. I mean, the
Oh,
when
yeah.
revealed is always bad for the heroes, right? It's not good. You discard something you control, or you dump 8 cards from the top of your deck. Great. So that happens, but then that forced action, like, oh, when is the best time for me to ready? And maybe sometimes it could be beneficial to you. Like we've got we have a Hulk on the card. Is this Amadeus Cho though on the card?
It
Or is it
is.
Hulkling?
It's Braun.
Yeah.
It's Braun in his, I think, the most poutiest teenage face.
yeah.
Oh
Look at
yeah.
that.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, he's
His mom
pouty.
just told him to take the garbage out before he plays video games. He's like,
Yeah.
but
He's
mom.
like
Yeah.
I
I have no idea what
want.
his history is.
It's
but
like Luke Skywalker at the very beginning of Star Wars.
Yeah, he wants to go to Tashi Station to buy power converters.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
Beginning. I think you mean the entire
The entire saga.
But yeah.
But like
I've
a lot of the Hulks want to be able to ready so that they can take another action. So it's kind of interesting that he's on
That's
there.
true.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And if it's your last turn, like you know that you're gonna win. I think that's like, yeah, sure. Ready.
Right.
Like,
They're not,
let's
the
go.
boost card's not going to have an effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me read you another one of these. Jan, this one's from your favorite guy. The Trance of Greed. Again, it's a permanent attachment with the enchantment trait. Your identity gains the enthrall trait. When revealed, you are confused. Otherwise, take 2 damage. In case you were already confused. Forced action. Exhaust this card. Draw 1 card. Then play that card, paying its costs. If you cannot, take 1 damage. This one is crazy.
I think I like this one a little bit. I played this my very first ever multiplayer game in person, by the way, was an
Oh,
Enchantress.
nice.
And I had this one with a Scarlet Witch deck that was like just drawing all the cards, like a ridiculous amount. But I like this one because I feel like I could always do it first when I had all my money ready and then just like play that card and hope that it was a good card instead of
Yeah.
doing it like way later because I didn't want to take the damage.
Well, the interesting piece is you can like play that card off turn, right? If you're the third player in a
Oh, you're
3-player game,
right.
you could take that during the first player's action and put out an attachment or drop a helicarrier, whatever that weird card is you draw that isn't an event or something. It could mess you up, but it could also it's got this weird dynamic of when you're doing it. It's like a little out of phase, which is
That's
interesting.
a good call. Yeah.
I don't know how often that would come up, but maybe.
Yeah.
And if
Maybe.
if you're playing like a Magic deck where you know the top card, you're like,
Yeah, that's true.
let me play my Maria Hill from the top of my deck off turn so everyone can draw a card or something wacky like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
And then of course if you can't pay its cost because you don't have enough resources, you can take a point of damage. And it has a great picture of Iron Man with all the toys, too many toys,
All the things.
all the
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really do like, I mean, all of them are like this, but the green on their eyes.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all commissioned art for these cards. All right, give us another one, Chris.
All right.
Yeah.
Trance of Pride. So, like all the others, it's permanent and is an enchantment. Gives your identity the enthralled trait. This one, when revealed, exhaust your identity. Otherwise, discard 1 card at random from your hand. Forced action. Exhaust this card. Place 1 threat on the main scheme. Remove 2 threat from a side scheme. So, and it's got actually some pretty cool Jane Foster on.
Yeah, I like that pick. I also like
Yeah.
that if there are no side schemes, you just still put threat on the main.
Yeah.
Yep. Which makes it like unlike the other ones that are kind of like could be positive. If there's no side schemes, this one's like all
it's
negative.
all negative.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the when reveal exhaust your identity. So you're putting charm counters out after she attacks. So she might attack and you exhaust to defend, and that puts your 5th charm counter out. It flips. You can't exhaust because you have already exhausted to defend, and now you have to discard a card from your hand at random too. So like this has more bad on it than any of them. So or at least
real.
the other 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Daniel.
It's me. It's my favorite just because of my own lifestyle. The Trance of Sloth.
Oh, I don't buy that for a minute.
Oh, I am.
No.
If I could be slothy, I'd be slothy.
Okay.
Like if I was going to take one of the 7 deadlies, this would be my one of choice.
Okay.
All
This
right.
is the one.
Permanent enchantment, enthralled trait. Of course, when revealed, you're stunned. Otherwise, place 2 threat on the main. Forced action for this one is to exhaust this card to heal a damage from Enchantress, draw a card, then discard a card. Wow. I don't get the theme of this, but it's nice.
The when revealed makes sense. You're
Yeah.
stunned, right? Sloth,
Yeah,
you're stunned,
yeah.
you're slow, whatever.
But yeah, the
And
force
then-
action doesn't make a
Right.
lot like deck cycling.
You're so slow, you're giving Enchantress time to heal up because you're just inactive. You're not
I guess.
pressing against her, like you're not
Yeah,
attacking and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I was gonna say, I think this forced action might be the best one because, like, okay, cool, I get to like do some deck cycling or like hand cycling. Like, it's very
And
likely that you might pull something that you
for
actually
only
want.
a single heal, you're right. I mean, absolutely.
Exactly, like, for
Hmm.
1 point, which, like, honestly, like, you're probably
Whatever.
gonna do an attack for more than 1. I mean, it just feels like, not that bad. Like, it's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
opposite of the one we just talked about that, like, could become all
Yeah.
bad. This one could be like, "Okay, cool, you get 1 more health. I'm still gonna hit you for, like, 3, and still
yeah,
kill you." Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
And like
Um
if you're the justice player or whatever, like, okay, I'm stunned. But
Yeah, exactly.
now I get to
Yeah.
deal with the threat that gets puts on, and I get to deal like cycle cards around to make the best choice. It's yeah, this is like the one you want. You want to be
yeah.
slothy.
The 1 point of
Yeah.
heal is obviously more impactful in a solo game than like a 4-player game where it's like,
Mm,
Yeah.
great, she's got
yeah,
60 health or she's down to 40, right? And you're hitting a lot. It's sort of, I think of
yeah.
Sabretooth like was healing every turn. And in a solo game, that heal made more of an impact. But yeah, in a multiplayer game, it's like whatever. And she might be at
I
full
almost
health sometimes, so it's not doing anything. Um,
That's so true, yeah.
yeah,
And I feel like it actually, especially if it's you get this right after she changes and you get, Future of Despair out and you can't even do any damage to her yet.
right.
So, do this first and, like, okay, cool, nobody's hit you because that's still there. I feel like if they if it needed to be balanced a little bit better, it should have probably been 1 per player.
Yeah, and they
Is that
never
at
do that
least
for the
They
healing cards.
never do that.
Never
Yeah, they never
have
do,
we
but
received
I
one.
feel like then that would feel more, "Oh, this is a real, like, risk reward situation," than just 1. Like you're saying, like, in a 3 or 4 player game, this is, like,
I wonder
horrible.
if part of that is because it's not a risk reward because it's forced.
It's supposed to be a penalty the whole
That's
time.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Like
yeah,
it'd be
yeah.
different
But, like,
if
is it a penalty?
yeah. Um,
not
if
much.
she's fully healed, you still get to draw, right?
Yeah, separate
Yeah,
sentences. You
I
do
think
as
so.
much of
Crazy.
the action as you can. So
Yeah.
Crazy.
yeah,
All
I like
right.
that. I find it notable that the when revealed, so you are stunned, and then it adds threat, and the other one you're confused and you take damage. So it's sort of like the opposite kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
form. If you
yeah.
want to think, I think that's kind of cool.
I like
So
that. Yeah, I like
yeah,
that too. I also, just wanna say, I think this is our first card art with, this Valkyrie. She's, like, really cool. So, I would
okay,
love an
it
ally
is
of her.
Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's, like, a newer one that was clearly
Oh, I was gonna
made
ask who
for
that
the
is.
MCU
Okay.
version. Yeah, she, like,
more
showed
based
up
on the MCU.
later on. Yeah, but she's pretty cool. So, yeah, I like
And
her.
I would say she doesn't look slothy. She just looks exhausted.
Yeah, like,
She just
she
needs a
Yeah.
just
nap.
needs a nappy nap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like
yeah,
walked a long way or something. It's like I just need to sit a minute.
yeah.
We this picture is obviously from a Monday. Like, that's what this is. This is a Monday.
Well,
uh,
if this is the beginning of a Monday, then the art on the next one is maybe the end of the day on a Monday. Uh,
Tell us about that, Steve.
oh, the Trance of Wrath has a very angry Captain America on it.
From our good friend Joey Vasquez.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, it's an enchantment. It's permanent. You get enthralled. When revealed, search the top 5 cards of the encounter deck for a card and reveal it. Force action, exhaust this card, take 1 indirect damage, deal 2 damage to a minion.
I love it.
It
Um,
yeah.
so it surges, but you get to sort of, but you pick which of the card it's going to be. So you're like, do I put out a minion? Do I put out a side scheme? Do I play a treachery? It gives you a little bit of agency there on what the card is that you have to reveal for that when revealed, which is neat. And then
Yeah.
that forced action, like you take an indirect, so you can give it to an ally, and then you get to punch a minion for 2. So yeah.
Yeah. This yeah. Uh, yeah. I feel like, all the minion hunters are like, "Yes, please, can I have this?"
Yeah, they won't get that one, but
No, no, absolutely not. No, they're gonna get stunned. But,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
no, but this is the one they want. They're, like, hoping, "Can I be angry Captain America?"
yeah. It's good art too. I like it. I mean, it definitely makes you feel like
Yeah.
he's wrathful. And you can see where he's like doing
Mhm.
the extra damage and maybe exerting himself, or there's some collateral damage to his attacks. Um, the
Yeah.
art is a little reminiscent from um, the Birdie and the Snowman TV series when John Walker / Captain America like beats that flag guy in the town
Oh,
square.
yeah.
Yeah, Falcon and the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. That's the name of the series.
Yeah, I was
Um,
like, "What are you?"
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah. But
yeah.
you're right, yes.
Well, that's all. That's our setup. So we have our 3 villain cards, which have some neat little mechanics on them. We have our 2 main schemes where we see how things are working. We have a set aside side scheme, and then we have our really cool 4 hypnotic gaze enchantments. So, what do we think? What do we think so far?
Love it.
Yeah. It's kinda different, it's really fun. I think it doesn't feel like upkeepy, like other things that have, like, constant counters happening. I don't know, it just never has felt that upkeep to do the enchantments.
Yeah, it's not too hard to remember them since they are sitting in front of you. And she said, when she attacks. Okay, so you just do it when she
Yeah.
attacks. I'm going to reserve some of my comments for next week's show, but I definitely think it's a fun setup and it's different and it's interesting and I'm excited to talk about the next piece.
Same. Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, Chris, thanks for coming on and giving us all that good lore for Enchantress to start. Hey, you want to come back next week
I'd
defiantly
love
and
to.
talk to us about the encounter cards? Cool.
I'm already enthralled by this show. Let's go.
Sweet. All right. Well, are you out there enthralled by this scenario? You can tell us by emailing us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook. You can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, Big Foam Loaf, and Scarlet Roadie. If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Enchantress, take us out.
I would have made them beat themselves with chains and gash themselves with copper knives in gratitude, which explains why that Avengers membership for me has always been so elusive.